In Acts chapter 4, the church is exploding. Like in Acts chapter 2, there are like 3,000 people, believers in Jesus. Well, by Acts chapter 4, there's like 5,000 men plus women and children. The church is just exploding. And you see in Acts chapter 4, Peter and John have just healed this man that was crippled from birth. And this man is like jubilant. He's like hanging all over Peter because he's excited, but also because he's never walked before and now he can. So it's probably a learning curve there. And so he's trying to walk, and it's just very, very thrilling and exciting. Well, then you see these religious leaders, and they're the Sanhedrin. They're like the big Jewish high council. And they pull Peter and John in front of them, and they're like, why are you doing these things? By whose authority are you doing these things? And Peter's like, whoa. Are we in trouble for being kind? Like, are we seriously like on trial here because we just healed someone? Now, this happened to Jesus too. Jesus, several times throughout the Gospels, he says to the religious leaders, like, are you really upset that I'm treating people well? Like, that's a reason to be upset? And so you see the Sanhedrin, and they're all up in arms because it's like Jesus won't go away. Like some of these specific Sanhedrin leaders, Caiaphas and Annas, like they were a part of Jesus' crucifixion. And I'm sure they're like, man, I thought that we were over that, guys. I thought we killed him. We're done with that. Like, why are you still talking about Jesus? But Peter and John are so bold and so calm, it seems, and so unintimidated, these ordinary men standing in front of the Sanhedrin, and they're not backing down, and they're like, salvation comes from nobody else. We will not stop talking about Jesus. Well, the religious leaders do not know what to do with them. Like they kick them out for a while so they can discuss, like, how are we going to punish them? And so they bring them back in, and they're like, we're just going to threaten them. And so they threaten Peter and John, and they're like, do not speak about Jesus again. These are the consequences. Peter's like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, we're going to talk about Jesus. And they're so calm, and they're so bold, and they're so like, that's how it is, guys. We're not backing down. That the Sanhedrin literally has no idea what to do with them. They're like, they're not threatened. Like, they're not threatened by us. We're not intimidating them. What do we do? How do we punish them if we're not intimidating them? And all the people love them, and we can't do anything to them. The people will be mad. And it's a hysterical scene. And it's so interesting to think how these two ordinary men, Peter and John, are teaching about Jesus, and they're preaching, they're proclaiming his name, and like thousands of people are finding hope in Jesus. And yet, Peter and John are standing in a room proclaiming the name of Jesus in front of the most religious people, and they're just turned away with the most hard hearts. It's such irony, right? For me and you as believers, I love this scene because I think that we often try to figure out how to proclaim justice in the world and, fight and be bold for Jesus and stand up for what's right and stand up for what's good. And this is a beautiful picture of those disciples early on who truly were going to be persecuted for proclaiming Jesus. They were truly going to be persecuted for it. But in these moments, what they did to proclaim Jesus was to simply be kind. They were just kind to people. They just went around encouraging the church, encouraging people, healing people when they could, saying, we're going to talk about Jesus. He's salvation. I think that we undervalue the importance of simply being kind in this world sometimes. They were criticized. Jesus was criticized for loving. He was criticized for being kind to those that other people were not kind to, for showing mercy, for showing forgiveness, for loving people well. So, may you and I, on this journey of bringing hope to the world through the name of Jesus, may we not underestimate the power of kindness. May we look for opportunities to be kind. And when people fly in our face, even religious people come up to us and they're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? You should be doing this. May we have the boldness to say, hey, am I really in trouble for being kind? Well, Jesus got in trouble for that too. So may we be kind, because a fruit of the Spirit is love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and gentleness and self-control. There's no law against those things. So may we live them boldly. Love you, friends.